Howdy y'all, you got the Bulldog on the channel. What we're working on today is an '05 Ford Ranger. I believe it's the 4-liter. And we're needing to inspect the right side spring shackle hanger. Yeah, it's in pretty bad shape. This is the paint. That is a hole. And that is what's supposed to hold the truck up. Now, I'm not having to sell this job. This guy wanted it just fixed. But he was not aware of this right here. Not at all. We're going to replace this whole thing. Now, the reason that I'm inspecting this side is because we got enough for two sides. Because what brought us our attention was this spring shackle right here, or lack thereof. He did not know this was broken. He did not know that it was gone. And it's just been riding up there for a while. I knew that it was sitting cattywampus for a while because I meet this guy on the road every day when I go home. He pulls a trailer with a load on it every day, during summer anyway. So he needs this thing to be right. Now, the reason I'm over here inspecting this side is because we knew that side was gone. They're on the same truck. So, I mean, we went ahead and ordered both sides, but we told them we would inspect this side. But since it's on the same truck, rust was an issue. You just might figure that the other side's going to need it too. And as you saw, it does. We're going to, it'll probably involve the flame wrench, but I'll see if I can cut them off with an air hammer. It's going to be a fun job because I'm going to be covered in rust. Now, what we're going to be using to replace it with is a Dorman kit 722-100. This kit includes the frame hanger, the shackle, the bolts to bolt into the frame, and a new bushing to go into the spring. Now, normally I don't change these, but look at that. Look at all that cracked up stuff. So we're probably going to end up having to put new bushings in it anyway. This is probably going to be seized in there. We'll see, but I figure that it'll need it anyway no matter what. So I'm going to have a time getting these apart. Maybe we just chop it off with a flame wrench and replace it. Shining a little light on the subject. Yeah, there is not much holding that up. The bolt came out of the other side, so I can save that bushing. I am still questioning this here. This bolt is stuck in here, but I can't get to it to rattle on it because it's got a hitch in the way. This is the kind of stuff, whenever they're building vehicles, it's like this stuff doesn't even exist. You got to put a hitch on it because that bumper ain't going to pull anything. This covers up the area that you got to get this bolt out. So I'm going to try to get this bracket off, which is, there's not much there. I'm going to try to knock these rivets loose. Most likely I'll just rip the whole thing off, and I'll try to get the spring down. I'll have to drop the exhaust, get it down to about this level. The other one, I was able to do that with a pry bar. I just pried it down, took the bolt out. It hit this, but I pried it down a little more and got it out that way. That book time Reflex, brand new, with no rust, no add-ons, nothing. Just, we have to deal with rust. That's why the price can kind of balloon sometimes. This is as ideal as you can. This is ideal as you can get. Up in the air, all the tools at our disposal. We'll get her done, hopefully. I'm gonna get after that thing with an air hammer. Once I start vibrating on it, it's gonna get a whole lot more open. Okay, uncut. I told you it'd get a lot more open as soon as I started hammering on it. That was all that stuff that was falling. That was the structure that was holding the back of this truck up. See, it's clear in two right there. I'm gonna hammer some more, but most likely this is just gonna end up just falling off. This was holding the back of the truck up with a trailer on it. Two. The other two are in front. You see why we love working on this stuff. It's just lovely. Up here, it's a lot better shape. This is the only thing that was holding it together. So I'm gonna try to reach in from this direction. So you can see that, pretty good on camera there. But getting to it, that's a different story, because that's at the reach of my arm. I'm gonna try to put you right there in that hole. See if you can see what's going on. Now that we're in the middle of the project, I want to let you know that when you're doing this, you want to wear ear protection. You realize that after you hammer on that for 20 minutes and your ears are ringing like a dope dealer's cell phone. Protect your hearing, because when you get into this wheel well, it just amplifies it, and you start to feel it in your teeth. Now I do have a jack underneath this rear axle supporting it. Hopefully you can hear me on the camera. Otherwise I'll have to do a voiceover. And 4. That gets it down there to that point. I don't think that's enough to get it out. I've got new bolts. I've got new bolts for this. I'm going to try to just zap on the end of it here and see if I can take it out. I don't know how much you heard from where I was working on it, but I'm going to just try hitting this bolt, see if it pops out. Did it move? By golly, it moved. Ah, that's nice. Nice. Come on. By golly, I got her out. Woohoo! Okay. Now, you can see that there's just, okay, the back part stayed on there even though I cut the rivets off. The front was the only part holding it together. If you're going to replace it all, like I say, you just take this off. Don't even bother with this top bolt because you don't need to. Bolt came out just fine. And remember to put in your ear protection so that you don't hear the phone ringing all the time. I ended up not having to cut these bushings out, and yeah, we'll see. It adds some labor to the time. And with the shape the rest of this truck is in, we shouldn't go too far with it. But that gets this side. I'm gonna use the air hammer. I got a really stubby punch with a sharp end on it. I'm gonna try to knock them rivets out the other way. Hopefully I'm not talking like this far up. I'm bad about cutting my head off. At least we can see digitally now right away. My entire childhood, all you ever saw of me was this much because Mom was bad at this too. So, one rivet fell out. So I'm gonna punch these things out and then I'll go to work on the other side while the whole rear end's hanging here. Now on this side, for some reason, these two are bolted. I don't know why. Nothing's bolted on the inside. So it's just, another one of those things people ask me all the time. What size is this bolt? What tools do I need? That's not factory. And the rest of them are riveted. This was riveted. So I have no explanation as to why 2 out of the 8 fasteners are bolts rather than rivets. Rivets are factory. I can't answer your question on your car because I've never seen it. I don't know if I'm going to get these things off or if I'm going to have to cut them off with the air hammer. Rivets are quite a bit softer than a grade 5 or a grade 8 bolt, so they cut off relatively easy. I'm going to try to hit it with the impact to see if I can get it out. It's going to be difficult to get to the back side of that anyway without pulling the tire. I'm not pulling the tire because most likely the winch that lowers it down is going to be stuck because rust. You're supposed to drop that tire to do this job. Yeah. I got the other side all off, got the holes punched out. I'm just working on this side that we, saw initially. And when I'm ready to go back together, I'll let you know. Okay, I just twisted this one off. There's no use in trying to get it off and reuse it. This one here, so rusted I couldn't get a bite on it. So I took my hair chisel and I got it moving, split the nut, and now let me do this one-handed. Just like that. So I'm probably going to take a deal with a wire wheel on it and just brush all that up, and then we'll just start going back together. Okay, I got the hanger and the shackle all mocked up here, and then we'll raise the rear end up in to the area. I've buffed on that with the wire wheel, and then we'll stick these bolts in inside out with the nuts on the outside. You can see I got the nuts on the outside here. It doesn't make it very convenient, but that's how you got to do it. The fact that the tire is not going to be able to come down is going to give me some issues, but oh well, I'll figure out a way. Well, par for the course. I got them all mocked up. I didn't even pay attention, wasn't even looking. I'll give you that part number. These brackets are for a full-size truck. Went to line it up and shoot, the hole was clear over here for the Ranger. These are gigantic. Just because it says it fits doesn't mean it does. Always check your parts, because you might end up, screwed. Okay, I'm waiting on parts now. Those other parts are for a full-size truck. However, according to the O'Reilly's website, they're a direct replacement for the OE part number that we looked up through the dealer. I keep saying on here, check your fitment before you install. Do as I say, not as I do. I just didn't even think about it. They look close enough. And now I had to take it back apart. But I'll show you the part number once I get them and confirm that they're the right ones. Okay, this is what we found. Whereas that kit was 722-100, there is no kit for the Ranger. It is two-piece. It is 722-010 for the frame hanger and 722-001 for the shackle. And of course, all the parts are provided, bolts and everything, and a new bushing, which we're not putting those bushings in because those, the outside edges are cracked up, but the bushing's still solid through. So we're gonna not mess with that. The last one that I messed with, somebody else tried to put a bushing in it and it cracked the spring where it went over it. So I don't want to mess with it and risk it. But here's the parts that you need for the Ranger. But like I say, double check your application. Because just like us, we crossed the OE number with O'Reilly's website and it gave us a kit that fit full-size Ford pickup and van from the 80s all the way up into the 2000s. Oh well, I'm going to get this thing mocked up and come back whenever I get the bolts and holes. I found out why it was bolted. There is a bracket up inside there. You can't see it. It won't focus on it. I can't even get my phone up there to do that, so. Anyway, it's up in there. I don't think it's a wiring bracket. I think it has to do with this framework right there. So I'll fish the bolts up in there and bolt her back on. If you're wondering how I'm getting that stuff in there, very carefully. It's not easy at all. Sometimes it's quick. Usually it's a fight. You know, I might fight the same thing for an hour. This one's been going together okay. Hopefully that carries on the second one too. The other one looks like it'll be easier. Looks like I got a little bit more room. The customer was just here. He's gonna pick it up tomorrow. He said that tire has been down once in its life. That's why I'm not trying. I know it's a fight. If it was mine, I'd cut the cable, drop the tire. That way I'd have a spare if I needed it, instead of being on the side of the road with that deal. But, you know, it's not my truck. Okay, I got them bolted up and I got it back on the ground. We're gonna jounce that a little bit. Those shocks are on there for decoration. Now I'm going to tighten up them eyelets. Now you see how that thing is, you know, twisted a lot further away than what it was. It was clear over here. That would have had to twist the rubber all that way. That's why we tighten these things up at ride height. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to run that down by hand. These are lock nuts. They go down kind of hard. Not terrible. Just more than my electric can do. Click. Now, the fun one is the one on top. That's why I've got a stubby wrench. It looks like I'm going to have to, open end down in there. Box end won't even fit. When I say you kind of go by feel sometimes, that's what I'm talking about. Is I cannot see that bolt. I just kind of know where it is. trying really hard not to bump you. I think I got it. I'm not 100% sure. It sure doesn't act like it. And no, I don't. Oh gosh. There. That's got it. Just gonna wedge against the body. It might be hard getting off, but that's a later problem. What are you even seeing? I think I bumped you. It got really tight. I think I'm smashing in the saddle. There it hit. Now we got to get this wrench out. I shall return. I got it back. Let's go tighten the other side. I'll do that off camera. And we'll take it for a test drive. It's already set in level, so I mean, let's make sure that nothing else is falling off of it. Yeah, as a large part anyway. Okay, that one's tight. We're gonna go take it for and see how it sounds. Hopefully there's no clankety clank crunch grind anymore. Okay, we got her all done. Setting level. No more overt noises out of the back end of this thing. Customer's been contacted and he's gonna pick it up this afternoon. So that's what we deal with on these older ones, is rust, and that's why it can cost more whenever you get something done. That's why it can snowball. Your estimate can just start ballooning up, because just like that, I knew the other side wasn't broken yet, but it was, and it was about gone. Be ready for that whenever you have one like that. And that doesn't mean that it's junk. This repair is a whole lot. It was the amount of a car payment. So just think about that. He drives this thing for 1 month and it's paid for itself. So like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification, share it all around. We'll talk to you later.